Singapore Democratic Alliance.
Singapore Democratic Alliance.
Singapore Democratic Alliance.
How would you describe the values of the alliance?
It's all about the people, nothing else. The people is greater than the party. We will not impose any will.
Most think of voting opposition as a risk to take, right?
Perhaps they are smart, but they may not raise the questions I raise. They will not ask the questions I ask.
Try us out. If we don't perform, sorry, we deserve to be kicked out.
Why should young voters consider voting for or supporting the SDA this election?
We are not any other opposition party. We are not there to critique, but to create.
For me, to the young voters, our future, your future is together. We have to make it happen.
Welcome back to Political Prude's GE2025 special, where we're putting together content that helps all of us get ready to vote. Now, we wrote to every party to invite them to our show to give us, the young voters, a proper introduction to their party, to understand who they are, what they stand for, and what their plans for Singapore look like. This episode, we're putting the spotlight on the SDA, the Singapore Democratic Alliance. Now, formed in 2001 by veteran opposition figure Mr. Tong, the SDA was created as a coalition of opposition parties united under one banner. While the alliance has seen shifts over the years, it remains a familiar name on Singapore's political scene, especially in the eastern part of the island. Today, the SDA is led by Mr. Desmond Lim, who I am excited to share is here today with us to introduce us to the party. He actually brought someone with him as well, Mr. Chia Yun Kai, who everybody might know as the guy behind the one-man party, MVP. Well, enjoy this episode. Mr. Lim, Mr. Chia, welcome to Political Prude, the podcast.
Thanks.
Thank you for having both of us here.
Absolutely. So I'm excited to know more about the SDA today. So maybe I'll ask this question to you, Mr. Lim. How would you introduce the SDA to someone who doesn't really understand Singapore politics?
Thank you for giving this opportunity. SDA is an alliance where few parties came together as a coalition and work together on the common goal and help the smaller party to have the influence in the political arena. And that's why how the SDA was actually come into it in 2001.
So what are the parties within the SDA now?
Initially, we have 4 parties, SPP, NSP, the PKMS, and SJP. And currently, we have only 2, which is SJP and PKMS.
Okay, I guess I'll ask you, Mr. Chia. Like when you first came onto the scene this election, I guess a lot of people were kind of like looking at you and wondering, like, is he, serious about running? I guess you are because you're here right now and it's past nomination day. And I guess, when you first came onto the scene, you were under the MVP banner. But now, the MVP has joined the SDA. So tell me about, this entire journey.
So creating the MVP banner was definitely my own idea, and it's just a personal project, right?
Yeah.
I feel that if I want to deliver the most value in Parliament, right, why not just call myself the most valuable party? So sometimes, people may joke about it, but I'm very serious, and it is all about serving the people. So the reason why I joined SDA, is because out of every opposition, I feel that, SDA, their values are very in line with mine, which is to serve people and to put service before self. And I feel that, if that's the reason why I'm stepping up, that should be also the reason why I joined SDA. And I also always feel that, like most Singaporeans, they always ask, why don't the opposition get together? And I also feel that if we can combine the opposition together, right, we will be a greater force by itself. So joining SDA was a no-brainer.
Right.
Yeah.
So you spoke about service before self, and I go back to you, Mr. Lim, because when I look at a lot of online comments, a lot of people, look at that one video of yours, the Troyes video, right? But then, and people make fun of that video. But a lot of the times I see the comments and they're always talking about, you and the hard work that you put in, the service that you put in. Is that how you would describe the SDA as well?
First of all, one of the founder, including myself, is Mr. Tong. And I have been working with Tong under the Potong Pasir Town Council and SDA for 14 years. And from there, I will say that whatever knowledge I have is the Tong school of thoughts and value. Now, for Mr. Chiam, what he always taught us is you must be connected to the ground. You have to be committed and be sincere, be honest, and have to have compassion to what you do. Most important thing, must be thick skin. Right? So these are the values that is in SDA. And also this is the value of Chiam Si Tong legacy, that why today we are still around. And my duty to uphold this legacy. It's not more on the personal ego. It's all about we need to uphold this Chiam Si Tong legacy so that there are more people and joining later will benefit from his value, and we can even grow even better and help more people.
So I guess one of the other questions I wanted to clarify is that there are now two main opposition alliances, right? So there's obviously the PAR, the People's Alliance for Reform. How would you say that the alliances are different, the SDA and the PAR?
The SDA is not a party. It's an organization that we don't shout for slogans. We believe in action. And that's why every time after the GE, after we are always on the ground, connected to the ground, we serve the ground through our own initiative and network.
Let's talk about the shirt, right? Because it's a very distinctive green. Yeah. I think a lot of people say, okay, I remember the bright green party. So why did the party choose this green color?
Okay. First of all, we have to go back to the early days when the population is not as great as now. We are actually living in the very green land. Everyone, I think, could be very happy, honestly. More happy than now. Okay. At least what they earn, they can buy what they want. But today, no matter how hard you work, you're struggling, but your money is always not enough. Saving is not enough. So since you bring out, let me share with you, Singapore no longer the green land of true blue Singaporeans, right? And by today, we will change our uniform to navy blue, and we are coming forward as a strong message that we, true blue Singaporeans, want back our green lands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so it's going to be navy blue?
Yes.
From
navy.
Today onwards?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's an exclusive. Exclusive for you. You're going to change the color to navy blue.
Yeah.
I don't think any party or alliance has done that like in the middle of campaign season. That's quite a bold decision, but I guess it's the messaging that you're trying to...
that we want to bring to.
Nice. Okay. Actually, just a random thought. You know, Mr. Chia, when you first came forward, I think you were messaging a lot of different podcasts to tell them that, oh, you know, I'm this person, I'm trying to run for elections. And you gave them very little details about yourself, but I don't know what kind of details you gave. It was very broad lah, you know. I had one fellow podcaster from, I think, the top podcast in Singapore text me, and he's like, this is you, is it? I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, no. He's your age. The profile fits what you're doing. Like, are you running? So I was like, dude, first of all, I would never run. And, you know, I know my role in this space. It's to be in media. And yeah, but eventually turn out to be you. So it's quite interesting that we are talking to each other now because I really knew about you like before even, you know, interviewing you. Yes, okay, anyway, I just wanted to ask, you know, when it comes to the voter grounds, right, who are the people that the SDA are trying to reach out to and resonate with this election?
For SDA, we are not just an organization to serve certain segments. It's just like, example, looking at it, the PAP now is more elitist, right?
Okay.
But the ground are actually suffering. So SDA is very diverse in views and diverse segment of community. Is inclusive. We believe in inclusive, and it should be include every different segments, the older people, the middle age, the younger people, and the youth. And these are the people, different segments for the society and the nation. So we cannot exclude them. We have to be inclusive, and we must make sure that all these people, the voice will be heard, and there is always opportunity for them to be succeed in life.
So I want to also know about the values of the SDA, right? How would you describe the values of the alliance to be?
As I say, it's similarly like we want to accept our candidates. They must be approachable, committed to serve the community. It's all about the people, nothing else. And that's why you can, if you visit Pasir, you can see like our poster, we don't put out our candidates' picture first, because service before sale. What is the principle of service? It's the people, the problem is more greater than us. Okay, so we put out the issue, the concern, the poster that reflect the issue and concern. Then we put out our candidates' picture, because we are the servant of the people. We are the one that represent them to voice out their concern in the parliaments, to also carry out check and balance, to ensure those in the power be accountable, transparent, and responsible for those decisions they make and affect all people. Right? And also, we are there to amplifying the voices of the people and to actually change the approach of the governments to be more responsive and innovative way of dealing with the problem, and not take it easy way, increase tax, impose new charges.
So if, let's say, the SDA manages to, win seats for parliament, what are some of the issues that, the party will be focusing on in parliament?
What are the issues today? Cost of living, quality healthcare, affordable housing, job security. And this is the reason that people send us in. And this is the policy that we will champion and challenge the shortcoming. And then we will propose, work together, come out of more comprehensive, holistic policy that everyone is inclusive.
So is there a campaign slogan or, manifesto that we can share?
Let's make it happen. It's time for change. You have to make it happen.
In terms of the policies, what are some of the key policies that you guys will be pushing for?
Honestly, the greatest resources that we have is human resource. But today, many of our own talents have difficulties to find jobs, or after they've been retrenched, want to re-employ, they may not get back a job with the same value that they deserve. Right? So human resource developments come in the third policy, we will push for that. And then next is about the housing. Housing will affect the family set up new young couple wanted to have new baby. Then thinking of the housing price, I think they will defer their plannings for a few more years. So we want the housing to be more affordable in the way that build before demands, build faster, simple, no need fancy food design or features, so that the cost will bring down, and therefore the young couple will be able to afford buy the house and also have money for saving for retirements.
So let's talk about, the people that you guys will be fielding this election. So let's first help the audience understand what are the different constituencies that the SDA is contesting in this year?
First, we must understand our capability, ability, and limitation on the resources, that we can optimize it to serve the people better, right? And to put out good performance. Therefore, all this while, SDA never go all over the place. We just focus on, previously was Pasir, Punggol, and this time around is Pasir, Ris-Changi. Right.
So tell me about the team that you're fielding. What are some of the traits or personality type that you recruited or are fielding?
Our team combination is very unique and also aligned with our inclusive policy and value. We have Mr. Abu. He is 74 years old. He's a businessman and also the president of PKMS. As an elderly man, he can actually translate what actually is the kind of lifestyle that actually the senior citizens should deserve and have the dignity to live on. And also what kind of program that we can actually help the senior citizens. Example, when their children go out, and most of senior citizens, they have the chronic disease. So they have to go for regular checkup. We can actually work out within the GRC and see who have the able to provide the transportation and all this to free up the children from having to take leave. This one. The other one is we will encourage the elderly come out to have more community activities, to interact, to make friends, so that they won't be so lonely. And third is we have to also make some integration between the senior, the older people and the younger people. Every older people, they have storybook, they have a rich history, experience. Right? So if we could have actually have program with the older people and the younger people to come together and they share the story and experience, they guide them and they keep them accompanied. This one for the older. So then we have people like my age, which is honestly this group of people, either they're very good or they're facing career retrenchment, redundancy. So they need to actually have some form of security, social. And we, as a community. We should help them to prepare themselves that even if in case the current job have some problem got been retrenched, but this group of community can help them to find replacement or temporary bring them to some courses to those people who have the expertise or knowledge, right, technology, and then bring them to another new industry to bring them over, right, to support. This is called the support group. That I think this is even better than you go for skill future where you go and pick up the course, but at the end of the day, you still cannot find you attend the course, but you cannot find a job, or you find a job which is not what you actually suitable for you or you like it. And then we have people like him at the younger 30 and below. He was able to resonate with the younger generations and understand the problem, and he was able to come out his proposal on program and policy. And to us, we also like this group of people to first thing family, not only their children but their parents, because we will see how we can have program to keep their parents occupied and being taken care of by the volunteers, and they can focus on their job. And their children, maybe we can also help them to take care. Some program with that thing. And for the children, now children having so very stressful in terms of study, and they could not able to manage or cope with it. And we also very concerned about children mental wellness, and they should have a mental wellness program to guide this group of children so that they should not have overstress. Unfortunately, Pabina Pao?
Yes.
Now, he's a very healthy man. Unfortunately, 100 days ago, he fell and then amputated his leg.
Oh, sorry to hear.
But one thing I got to respect him, he still got a heart and the spirit to actually come forwards to want to serve the people. And I agree, because this is something that the device can overcome. And with his current situations, he now even have a better, deeper understanding of what the disability people needs, and also the medical costs and all this. So it's well inclusive.
Understand, Chair. So you're here, I guess, to bring the younger demographic. Well, I guess I fall into your demographic, so maybe pitch me, right? Like, what do you bring to the table? What perspectives and experiences can you bring that can maybe appeal to, like, us, the younger demographic?
Yeah. So, of course, first thing, coming from the younger demographic, the younger generations, and basically for my age, 32, like this, we are the sandwich generation. Yeah. So we have to take care of the elderly, and then we also have to prepare to start a family. So I think job security is one of the key things that is on the minds of younger generations. And I always think that us focusing on how to make Singaporeans come first, right, before the foreign talents, it allows us to ensure that Singaporeans get the better jobs, right? Not only just any jobs, but we are looking at jobs that has higher wages, right? Jobs that are more secure. And also, we have to understand that foreign talents are brought in to train or to offset or compensate the lack of expertise that Singaporeans have. But we also need to know that during this period, they can actually mentor and train our Singaporean workforce. So for this, I will also champion mentorship programs, right, where we tag Singaporeans to foreign talents. And then over a period of time, if, for example, their E-Pass is 2 years, by the 22nd month, you can tell me what you have trained the Singaporeans to do. So if that is the case, then we can see that this is a very sustainable solution, right? Not only does it provide additional jobs, right? It's not at the expense of the government. And of course, we also increase the support for younger families. That's done through several stages, like he mentioned, the affordability of homes, how we'll increase the supply of homes by building it more simpler, right? And then I also believe that younger people also like to move into a home where they can customize their stuff, right? Everyone has their own ideas and passion. So that's also important, where you can build houses and increase the supply while making it more affordable too.
Hi, our conversation with Mr. Lim and Mr. Chia will continue shortly. And you know what would make you the MVP? If you could drop us a 5-star rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and if you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. Done? Let's get back into it. So I'm looking at the GE matchup now, and we see that on the PAP side, you guys will be going up against Desmond Tan and Indrani Raja, two very heavyweights. So, what is the feeling like, we're going up against them?
Well, to us, it's whoever come or whoever we face, we are accountable to the voters, and we just focus and committed to the residents and continue to service them and hope hopefully they realize that we are the team that should be given a chance now. Right? And example, and I think this one, the residents in the last election have actually give us a very good endorsement. Despite 3 corner fight, we wasn't the one that lost the deposit. Their party didn't come in, we could have also hit the average percentage.
And yourself?
So I think I'm quite excited, you know.
Okay.
Like,
Let's expand on that.
yeah, it's my first election. Facing 2 heavyweights. It's a challenge, but that's what we are in for, right? I mean, we have to embrace whatever challenge come towards us. And I think that it makes things more exciting, right? I think it is important to note that, you know, they're still working under a party, right? And then they do have to follow their party protocols. So perhaps they are smart, but they may not raise the questions I raise, right? And they will not ask the questions I ask. And this is things that the opposition can come out more freely, like the way we speak, the honesty, and of course the way we question the current policies and the past policies of PAP. So I think it will be an exciting fight for the voters of Pasir Ris-Changi, and yeah, they can look forward to it.
Yeah, to add on that, I have also sharing with him. The one thing you can see that most of the political party in the parliaments, they have a whips. And the members of parliaments have to go along the party line. Therefore, sometimes they wanted to actually voice out for the people, but because the party want the policy to pass through, they have to follow. As for the SDA, we believe and we recognize the reason why we were in is people send us in. So the people is greater than the party, the MP. And we have to actually voice, so we will not impose any whips on our MP in terms of representing the people and what the people want him to say.
Right, that's actually quite a fresh take, because in an earlier episode we learned about, you know, the party whip and why I guess the value of the whip is there. But I hear what you guys are saying, and actually I'm convinced, because, you know,
there's a whole reason why people send you in, right? Yeah, that's why what Mr. Chiam told me, you know, when people send you in, you are representing them. You should not be beholden to anyone or the pay or the allowance or anything.
So for me, I guess what I'm reflecting on now is that, you know, obviously the PAP has to operate on a different level, but when it comes to the opposition, things like party whips don't really apply as well.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about, you know, the election. We're in the middle of it. How's everything been so far? You know, what is the sentiment like for you guys? Like, can you share your election experience so far with us?
So far, the feeling is good. And I think there are people on the ground that actually are ready or expected to have some changes. And this was aligned with what we are actually pursuing. We just have to continue to convince more people to believe in us and give us a chance to serve them and their whole families for at least 5 years. Let's try us out. If we don't perform, sorry, we deserve to be kicked out. If you give us an opportunity to re-enter into parliament, because SDA at one time, we had MP in the parliaments. We will cherish this opportunity and we will put in all our effort to do it even better. And we have proven ourselves. Example, before our party scheduled visit, my charity organization, 1 week beforehand, have organized a medical team to visit those old folks and provide free medical checkup and advice. And this will not be one time off, it's a regular. Why we do that? Well, charity is always separate from party, because why? When you do charity, what's the purpose? Is you want to reach everyone. But sometimes, some people, because of the political affiliation, because of the pride, they deny your offer. But they are in it, right? So the best way is to do in what we did in Potong Pasir. That's why in Potong Pasir, we have Potong Pasir Welfare Fund. We did not name under Chiam Si Tong Welfare Fund or SDA Welfare Fund. That is the reason that we want to reach everybody. They are in need and not in debt to us.
That's quite interesting, right? Because I guess we live in an age where it's all about branding, you know, and putting the name out there. So why is it important that you guys don't focus on branding? Because it helps. Doesn't it help?
Sincerity, honesty. Why you want to serve people? You be honest to yourself. Be sincere to yourself. If you anything that you want to help is to exchange something back, that is not sincerity. That is not our value. And we are not honest because we are hidden agenda. We want to help you. We want you to vote for us. Then talking about branding, if political, you still can build your own branding through your political means and vocation, and win the heart of the people that agree with you that you are the right person to represent them. You have the right policy to help them. That is called inclusive, right? And one thing about Mr. Chang was saying, as an MP, don't oppose for the sake of oppose. If there's a good policy, we support. If the policy is not good for the people, we must hold a meaningful dialogues. Then tell the ruling party, hey, this is not what the people want, and this is something that we should do some amendments. So country comes first. National interest comes first.
What is your take on this? Because I feel like you are so on about branding, you're MVP. So tell me, what is your opinion on like branding and party?
I think branding is very important, right? Yeah, regardless of what you do. I believe, Mr. Desmond Lim here has his own set of values that he follows, right? And sometimes he is always putting a lot of action, right? And, he always values action over talk, right? So I think bringing me in for this general election actually do bridge the gap, right? Where I'm able to communicate it better to the voters and also to the residents and the rest of Singapore that SDA is actually doing this, right? Not that we have the agenda to do it, but it's also something that, I always believe that branding is also important, and that's why I put forward. And to be able to help them push out that, SDA, Mr. Desmond Lim himself is a person who do action and is on the ground. It's also very important for people to know, because at the end of the day, if you're doing it something only in locality, everyone else do not know about it, and it might also not help you in an event like, for example, this general election.
Okay, so Mr. Desmond, you've been talking a lot about the Chiam Si Tong school of thought. I would like to, learn more about that, because I think Mr. Chiam is a very respected figure in Singapore's politics. If there was one lesson, that he imparted onto you that you take it very seriously, what is that one lesson?
Okay. People living on hope, motivate, money. So these are the two things that motivate people to continue to live in this world and pursue their dream. So anyone who came to us during an MPS, sometimes we knew that his case appeal won't success, but we won't turn them off, or we go straightforward tell them, hey, don't waste time. We will still say, okay, we try. We will try our best, and we write a letter for them. So never let people feel hopeless. Give people a hope. Please give encouragement, offer your help. We grow up together. Because this is Singapore. Every Singapore count. We remember our greater resources is human resource. So all Singaporeans should help each other to make our true Singaporeans grow better, stronger, and succeed in their life.
Nice. Very passionately said.
Yes, correct.
So I guess I actually did another podcast, and we were discussing the types of MPs that we want, and one of them said, when it comes to you, he can't be confident that you will be able to express yourself in Parliament because of maybe he feels like you're not as eloquent as some of the ministers, or members of Parliament. What would you say to something like that?
Look, we got a GRC team. We are working as a team, right? In parliaments, there are a few ways of bringing up questions. One is written, one is actually oral. Well, I may not stronger than that, but I have a different language that I can speak better. I can speak Mandarin, but why don't people look at this way? And I can use my Mandarin to engage. Right? Not only because I cannot speak good English, that means I got no other language ability to express and to debate with the minister. And not forgetting, today technology, you got translator. I can buy a Bluetooth earpiece. The moment you talk to me, they translate.
Yes.
With today's technology and device, this is not problem to handicap a person.
Fair.
Yeah.
Agree. And yourself?
Besides my English.
No. I'm really not going to. No. I guess how you're going to be communicating in Parliament if you get elected.
I think communication is important, right? But, we cannot just judge Mr. Desmond Lim on his communication, right? You need to see that he has a heart and a passion to serve people. And that's where SDA comes in, right? We come with a heart and passion to serve people. And you need to know that it's all about sincerity and where we are coming from. We are not there just for power. We are not there just for ego, right? You also need to know that other MPs, like former MP Inderjit Singh, also mentioned that if anyone goes in and he has the capacity to do it, he's actually losing by being a minister, right? So for myself, I have prior experience, corporate experience, working 8 years in larger MNCs, both locally and globally. So my communication skills should be okay, right? I wouldn't say I'm like lawyer standard and I don't have a wide range of vocabulary, But if I can confidently say that I'm pretty straightforward in what I want, more like a no-nonsense communicator. So lesser words, but more impactful, that's all I can say.
That's fair. You know, it's very different when we think about the opposition role also, because it's not just about like drafting policies, it's also just asking questions. And sometimes, you know, just having that gives clarity and transparency for the people also. All right, so just a couple of last questions I wanted to ask you guys. You know, for a lot of voters in Singapore, when they start thinking about their vote and when they look at the options, most of them think of, you know, voting opposition as a risk to take, right? So how would you try to convince them that it's not that big of a risk?
First thing, the visibility have to be there and the connection have to be there. And not only when election come, it have to be before and after and continue. You build trust. Only your presence being felt, which is actually is an empowerment to the residents that because they say, oh, you are always here, I can trust you and depend on you to voice out for me, and they will share with you their concern or what they think or that have a better idea together to improve the living environments, the policy as a whole.
Well, Mr. Chia, when it comes to yourself, you are a new kind of addition to the team. I guess some people might see like, oh, are they really prepared, right? So the risk there lies in, you know, is he truly with the team? Can we trust him to really care about us? When you look at Mr. Desmond and he's been walking the grounds a lot, whereas you're kind of like a new team member.
Yeah, so I mean, when I first start off, everyone would question, you know, if he gets in, can he run the town council? If he gets in, does he even walk the ground or know the people? But then the reason why I joined SDA is because, you know, they have been walking the ground. They know the concerns. And Mr. Desmond Lim as well as Mr. Abu from our team has many years of experience in terms of managing operations and organization. So there's nothing worrying for the Pasir Ris-Changi GRC voters because they can be assured that we have the private sector experience in terms of managing things. And if you ask me, private sector experience in managing things is actually more efficient than the government, right? At the current moment, we always feel that the government is overspending and also the government has a lot of excessive bureaucracy that can be cut down or can be improved because they don't really check themselves. And in the private sector, you have to be efficient to be profitable. And it is something that is very valuable or is a value that my team brings, right? We are all private sectors. We have businesses. So we understand what is required and we also know how to provide the values. And also in terms of plans, right? I mean, I also heard the concerns that, you know, some voters say, hey, if I vote the opposition in, will it stop? So we need to make sure that the voters understand that these plans are planned far ahead, right? It's not just that I plan for 5 years and stop it, right? So if plans, like for example, you plan the MRT, I can't possibly build it in 5 years. So perhaps I planned 2 terms ago and then it's going to end next term. They can't possibly say that, you know, there's an opposition, so we're going to stop the MRT for the next 5 years until you vote us back in. So there's nothing to worry about in terms of the bigger picture and the master plan. But then what opposition can provide is a voice in parliament, as well as checks, and also we will also provide additional plans on top of what is already currently planned for that region.
One thing I want to ask is, what would Singapore gain from having SDA represented in Parliament?
Honestly, we live by our value. We are there not to oppose for the oppose. We are there to actually complement everybody because we believe in inclusive. When we are there, we try our best to give our alternative views and proposal to make the ruling party proposal even better. Actually, I can quote a few, but nothing, idea is not monopoly. I can say that, okay, in 2011, because hawker center was one stop building. In my manifesto and the master plan of whole developments of the hawker center at Punggol East, I propose. And I think hawker centers should not be just a hawker center because look at the rich culture. The rich, the poor, the Chinese, the Malay, the Indian, they can sit together, strangers, sit together and eat their food. And that is the very rich culture of Singapore, the integration of Singapore community. So a hawker center should not only selling food, but have some cultural program, a performance or exhibition and all this to bring all together. You see, the online, he cannot speak well. But who was the one who started off with the online? That gives the idea to have online. People don't look at the strong point because I'm not successful in politics. But doesn't mean that my life is worse my private life, my career, I cannot.
Okay, my final question to the both of you would be, why should young voters consider voting for or supporting the SDA this election? I'll start with you first, Mr. Chia.
Okay, so the SDA will provide a very transparent and direct approach that is not only short-term, it's long-term sustainable, and it will improve your life currently and for generations to come. And secondly is, we are not any other opposition party. We are one that contributes. We are not there to critique, but to create.
For me, to the young voters, our future, your future, is together. We are here to advocating transparency, accountability, responsibility, and sustainability for our climate, that the place that we can live happily.
All right. Thank you so much to the both of you for spending this past hour with us, and all the best with all the elections.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. My sincere thanks to Mr. Desmond Lim and Mr. Chia Yun Kai for taking the time to join us this episode. I think we all walked away with a much clearer picture of the SDA and what it stands for. Like we said, this is part of our special series spotlighting political parties in Singapore. So if you're curious to learn more, check out the rest of our episodes as well. If you appreciate the work that we're doing, show us some love by following us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and subscribing on YouTube. I'll catch you next time on Political Prude, the podcast.